Well, just bear with me tonight, friends, because I'm a little bit, I guess I'm just a little bit tired. And last song I talked about on my fancy playlist, I was kind of out of it, so I'll try to pick it up a little bit on this record. This record by Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do. This was her breakout hit. Now, I'm going. This is my fancy playlist of July 24th, 1994. It's at number 30 on my fantasy playlist, up 9 from 39 the previous week. Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do. She had a hit. It was a big hit. Leaving Las Vegas in the spring of 1994. I was absolutely wild by that record. She was performing, if I remember correctly, out in the desert. It was in black and white. Live in Las Vegas. A very talented woman, Sheryl Crow. Fantastic voice, fantastic guitar playing too. And I remember the first time I heard All I Want to Do. I heard it on Hitline one night, summer of 1994. And the way it started, This Ain't No Disco, and I was blown away. It was just that moment. I'll never forget it. 22 years ago, first hearing that song, All I Want to Do. That just made my night. Sheryl Crow is from the movie. It's from the well, not from the movie. It's from the album Tuesday Night Music Club. I told you I was tired. Tuesday Night Music Club. It was her breakout hit. She got a Grammy for the single Grammy Record of the Year in 1995. It went to number two. Went to number two. It stayed at number two for 6 weeks. It was kept out of the top spot by Boys and Men. I'll Make Love to You. Now, let's get into the gist of this. You won't believe how this song came about. It was based on a poem called Fun. It was written by a poet, an American poet, born in 1957. His name was Wayne Cooper. It's W-Y-N. I'll just pronounce it as Wyn. Maybe it's Wyn Cooper. Wyn Cooper wrote this poem. Sheryl Crow's producer, Bill Bottrell. Bill Bottrell, he was browsing a used bookstore in Pasadena, California, when he came across a book of poems, poetry by Wyn Cooper, and the book was called The Country of Here Below. The poem Fun was in that book. He showed the poem to Sheryl Crow, and Sheryl Crow was like, I'm using this. She incorporated the poem into the lyrics of All I Want to Do. It was absolutely brilliant. I got the poem up. I do. I got it right here in front of me. Let me bring it up for you. Basically, the song is basically the poem. We are drinking beer at noon on Tuesday at a bar that faces a giant car wash. The good people of the world are washing their cars. All that in the Sheryl Crow record is pretty much true to the poem. But at the beginning of the poem, though, it's a little bit different. Here it is. All I want is to have a little fun before I die, says the man next to me. Out of nowhere, apropos of nothing, he says his name is William, but I'm sure he's Bill or Billy, Mac, or Buddy. He's plain ugly to me. Well, actually, I believe that was used in the record too. I believe verbatim from the poem to the song. And I wonder if he's ever had fun of his life. Okay, well, that's basically the same as it was in the song. So Sheryl Crow, she pretty much stayed true to the poem, but she made this thing her own. Number two on Billboard's Hot 100, unleashed a string of hits for Sheryl Crow that lasted well into the early 2000s. And oh, by the way, Wyn Cooper, Wyn Cooper got some royalties off this record. Oh boy, he got a promotion and a half. His book was promoted because of that album. Now get this: before the song came out, All I Want to Do, the book of poetry, The Country of Here Below, came out in 1987. It sold 500 copies. That's it, first run. But when the song All I Want to Do came out, which was based on the poem Fun, which is in the book was going through multiple reprints. I mean, we're talking a classic win-win situation with Wyn Cooper getting getting the royalties, and his book getting promoted, and Sheryl Crow having her first massive hit record. I believe that's all I got to say about this record. Oh, by the way, I didn't know this. I've forgotten about this. I should have known, but I just read about it. This ain't no disco. At the beginning of the song, beginning of the song, well, you probably already know this, but it was referencing Talking Heads, wartime, life during wartime. I believe was it life during war? Yeah, life during wartime. Oh boy, I told you I'm out of it tonight. It referenced the song Life During Wartime by Talking Heads because they used that line, this ain't no disco, and same as it ever was, same as it ever was, a song that went to number 80 on Billboard's Hot 100 back in 1979, the Talking Heads record. All right, well, I guess I better shut up while I'm still ahead. And by the way, well, one more thing. Went to number one in Canada, number one in Australia, number four in England. International hit, Sheryl Crow. All I Want to Do, based on the poem Fun by Win Cooper, at number 30 on my fantasy playlist, July 24th, 1994.